Hey, I'm Alan Pettigrew Jr., an independent sports journalist, and today I am here to introduce you to Vanguard's three-star wide receiver, James Bethea. Yes, James Bethea, not Bethea, because the family had already tore me a new one for messing up the name a few times. But guys, what I want to show you about James today is not that he's just an awesome football player, but that he's just a special kid in general, man. The first time I noticed James was as a freshman playing on the defensive side of the ball. And for you to kind of like throw your humility away and go play over there, I know, especially when you have that much talent at wide receiver, I know you're just a good overall kid. But the thing that really showed me what kind of man Bethea is growing into is the fact that he's been leading his team in prayer since his freshman year. If you guys know anything about public speaking or just being a nervous kid around upperclassmen, around guys who are going to go play for Power Four and Greater Five teams, then you know what it took for him to get up in front of those people in year after year after game after game after game and preach the word of God, man. So that's part of what we explore. Of course, we're going to touch on the recruiting aspects. The kid is getting just about every offer you can ask for at this level. There's so much more we get to know about James throughout this. I spoke with his coach, Edwin Farmer. I also spoke with his mother, Sharangela Bethea, and they really helped me come up with a great cast of questions to get to know more about this rising star. I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be having more interviews in the series. All right, Marion County sports fans, I am here with Vanguard star receiver James Bethea. James, how's it feel, man? You have a lot of big things to talk about today, man. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Talk straight about your recruiting, man. Tell me about your decision to decommit from the national champions, Indiana University.
Well, to be honest with you, it was really just a personal decision. Me and my family just thought it was best to reopen my commitment as of like just going to see other schools. It's just we really just been trying to find things that's closer to home. Like so, we've really been more open to more schools closer to home, and we just feel like it was the best decision for me going into my senior year, just to find something closer and to find something that a better fit for me. So that was a big thing into it.
Yeah. Man, I'm not even mad at you. I love Signetti. I love what they did with that team, but it is like 4 degrees in Bloomington right now, bro. That is not for you. So that being said, it is recruiting season, man. A ton of schools have been at Vanguard. We've seen Louisville up there. We've seen Florida A&M up there, and just about everybody that's come through that door has given you an offer, man. Kind of tell me about these last week or two in that boosting your recruitment.
Well, man, it's really been hectic, but it's really been nothing but a blessing because everything with this transfer portal thing, it's been a lot. It's been a lot tougher for us high school guys to get recruited. So just for these coaches to come and sit down and talk with me about different scholarship options and different things, different offers going into their schools, it's just all been a blessing for real.
Sure. So you kind of talked about it being hectic, and you also talked about like that transfer portal. So how much does that really have a hold on your decisions?
um really is really it really has a big hold on my decision, with the like thank God they shrunk the window down where like guys can really transfer into different schools like at one time, and not just at like in spurts at different times. So but to be honest, it really gives those guys a head start that they're able to get there during like the early periods and before spring and get to learn the playbook. So for guys like me, like high school guys, it's really hard for us to get in there and you know, we got to get there early so that we can learn the playbook, learn different things, and kind of try to get ahead of those guys. They might be ahead of us physically. We got to try to get ahead of them mentally so we can be able to get reps on the field. And you know, for me, that I feel like that wouldn't be a problem going into my freshman year of college. I'm on track to graduate early, things like that. So I'll be able to get there early, play, learn the playbook, different things like that. So I don't really see it as like I see it as a blessing and a curse for different schools, because some schools need it. You never know,
For sure.
so it's just, it's just something you just really gotta make sure you're always working. It's one of those type of deals, where you never know who they might bring in, or they might drop you. You never know. It's just a thing like that where you just gotta pay attention to wherever you're going. When you're going on these visits, making sure that these coaches really want you and not just talking so they can get you on campus and then mess you over once you get there. It's
Exactly.
just all a process.
For sure. So it really sounds like that education piece is a little bit more like the education of like knowing what the playbook is a little bit more important than physically being ready right now. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that aspect, man. I'm noticing a lot of football players kind of have to be like, no offense when I say this, you guys have to be nerds. Like you gotta know what's going on every single time. So kind of tell me about your work ethic when it comes to studying plays.
Really, that's like it's really like just bred into me. Being with Coach Farmer since my first year of being in high school. He really embedded into me like study the playbook, watch your film, watch who you're playing against. Different things like that. So like it's just really been embedded in me since my freshman year. Coming into high school, I wasn't always the biggest guy going in. So for me to be able to play as a freshman, or for me to be able to play as a sophomore, I had to really get in that playbook and learn ahead of those juniors and those seniors, so that I know the playbook and I know what's going on the field at all times. So that's really just something that's really been, just embedded in me. Just bred into my mind that I always got to know my opponent, I always got to know who I'm playing, what I'm doing, the assignment. And it really slows the game down for you. The more you know, it gives you better IQ. It gives you, a better feel for the game, where you should sit, what hole you should be in. So like, it's just really things like that.
For sure. Man, okay, so let's talk about the physical aspect of it with your work ethic and everything, man. I had a chance to talk to your mom before this interview, and my bad, man. I'm outside. This random dog just ran up on me. But as I was talking to your mom, she's telling me you get up every single morning at like 6 a.m. to go run before school. Like, kind of tell me when that aspect of your game like really blossomed.
Really is when I got to high school. Coming into high school, I'm not gonna lie, I had the big head. Coming out of little league, everybody's telling me I'm the best guy. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. I should have this, I should have that. Coming into high school, I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to be a first year starter. I'm gonna come on varsity. I'm gonna take everybody's spot. I'm gonna do this, but these guys are outworking me. These guys are, putting in that extra pain, that extra gain. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do the bare minimum, go to practice, and that's not how it works. So it's always just keeping that one step ahead and just staying ahead of your competitors, staying ahead of your game. Because there's always somebody out there. If you're not working, there's always somebody out there who's separating themselves by waking up that extra hour, or waking up or staying out that extra hour and doing the extra work. So it's just always staying ahead of the game.
Gotcha.
Because you never know, being around other people. You and him might be right here, then y'all might be neck and neck, and with education, with skill level. But if you outwork that guy, you stacking days, you going up and up and up,
Hmm.
and he's not stacking those days, and they're gonna drop him. So it's just that type of deal. You gotta outwork your competitors.
For sure. So, so let's talk about what exactly does that look like? Do you have like a daily routine of like I got 100 push-ups before bed, I got to run these miles? Like what exactly does your day-to-day work look like?
Well, every morning I just wake up, and I thank God before anything. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be able to get up and do the things that I do. So I'll do that first. I wake up, wash my face, brush my teeth, do those type of things. Then I put on my cold. Right now, I'm putting on my cold clothes because it's cold outside. So I wake up, put on a little beanie, little cold jacket. Um, put on my little cold jacket, and then I'll get to running. I'll run probably like 2 miles a day, 2 to 3 miles a day. Um, I know, but I run probably about two to 3 miles a day. Uh, and after that, I'll come back home. I'll get in the shower. Spend some time with God again, and then head off to school.
Got you. All right. So it sounds like God and your faith is a really big part of who you are, man. And I've been noticing that pretty much since I especially noticed it your sophomore year when you were leading Vanguard in prayer. And to me, that spoke a lot about your character. So I had to talk to Coach Farmer about that. And I'm like, did you allow him to do it? Did he ask to do it? He was like, you were the person that took up that mantle. Like you wanted to do that since you were a freshman, man. What exactly what exactly made you feel compelled to lead everybody in prayer?
For one, that was just my calling. I feel like God, He led me to do those type of things. He led me to, use my platform as a way to uplift His name each and every day. So that's a part of it. Just spreading the word to my teammates. Spreading the word to my coaches. You know, and also it's allowed me to be a positive impact on others. Some people may need that prayer. Some people may need those words that they may hear from me. So just being that positive outlet on my team, and just taking it outside of football, it's allowed me to build relationships with my teammates and just to be a better teammate to my team. Be a better brother to my team. And it allowed us to come together and just to be stronger together. So that was just a part of it.
Got you. So it sounds like that's been in you for a very long time, though. I was talking to your mom. She's been saying your nickname growing up was Pastor James. So
Yeah.
what exactly prepared you at a young age for like this is who I am?
Really just my family, just growing up, my grandma, my granddad, they always instilled in us that that's our Lord and Savior. We always have to put Him first before before anything. If we want anything out of this world, we can't always lean on our own understanding. We have to lean on His. And I've learned that the more I grow up, like that saying is true: lean not on your own understanding, but on His. So it's just really just finding Him for myself really like strengthens my relationship with him. You know, of course, growing up as a kid, you're always gonna be in the church. I'm always in the church, always with my grandma and granddad. Long services, I'm like, dang, like I'm always here. You know what I'm saying? But as I grow up and I mature, it's really like I built that relationship with him for myself. So I really see what they were talking about, and it really, just brings the best out of me in each and every way.
For sure, for sure. So you talked about like the connection piece and like getting to meet people through your faith. Who is like a very interesting person that you were able to meet um, while being in this position?
I would have to say my pastor Tom. He is really like an interesting person when it comes to like opening my eyes to different things in my religion. He's really, you know, pushed me to be a better person. Like he's one of those type of guys where like on those like you almost feel like he's speaking to you each and every day.
Mhm.
And he's really like opened my eyes at such a young age that like God is really what I need and what I what I just like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's hard to put it in words. Like he's just been like a really positive outlook on my life, and I don't even think he knows that.
Yeah. Look, man, in
But
those
yeah,
situations,
it's just I feel like it's him.
for sure. Like though, sometimes it's hard to explain when you just feel like drawn to somebody, especially that person that like God has put in your life. So I understand where you're coming from on that, man. Um,
Yeah,
so James, I want people to really get to know you today. So I'm gonna bring you something up that I don't know a lot of people know about you. I heard you can draw, bro. Like not basic draw, but I heard you can really draw.
yeah, I can.
Yeah, man. Do you have any of your artwork around?
Um, Now I really have like a lot of personal artwork because like
Mhm.
when I'm drawing, it's really like more of like off of like personal When it comes to like my artwork and stuff, like it's really like a lot of personal things. Like I draw a lot of like things are based off how I'm feeling.
Mhm.
So I don't really have any too much. They're all in like notebooks and different things like that. But like yeah, that's like a hobby that I do like when I'm not playing football, obviously, when I'm not on the field, different things like that.
Okay. Very interesting skill set, man. We're looking at a very real well-rounded kid so far. So
Yeah,
you are part of a family legacy of basically a Marion County legacy at this point of producing really good athletes.
yeah,
Now, I know your mom played college basketball. Plenty of aunties play college basketball as well. Um, your mom was even telling me that she thought basketball would have been your go-to sport. Kind of tell me about your relationship with playing basketball. I've seen you on the varsity court a couple times.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to basketball, like that really, to be honest, was where my heart was. But I realized that like my talents were in football, and God was calling me to play football, and it was like no matter how much I tried to pull it, like it's one of those situations where it was like where I wanted to go do something on my own, and God, He will pull me towards another direction. Like this is where I need you to be. This is where I want you to go. And it's like, man,
Mhm.
I gotta listen to where He wants me to go. So, football is my outlet. Football is the my way of displaying my talents to uplift God's glory. So that was just one of those situations where I had to put the basketball down and pick up the football.
Got you. Now, look, you're growing into a legend in your own right, but we know another Bethea on the football field, Irvin Bethea, your uncle, who was
Yeah,
one of the most dominant players we've ever seen at Westport, man. Kind of tell me what it was like growing up with another really well acclaimed athlete to kind of tell you where to go and how to perform.
yeah. Well, he's really been like that great role model with me. Obviously hearing his name, seeing all the newspapers and seeing everything, it pushes me to go harder because I'm like, dang, I want to do that for myself. I want to be first team all county. I want to lead my school. I want to hold records. Different things like that. So it's really just pushing me every day to just be the best person I could be each and every day, and just off of the field. He gives me the tips and the games on how to stay up in school. How to stay away from the wrong people. He's just been a great outlet for me.
Yeah, he sounds like a great mentor for you, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, is there anything that he has taught you on the field or off the field that you look at and try to do as much as possible?
Really, when it comes to just protecting myself on the field, when it comes to making those hard catches and making those diving catches and different things like that. He's really taught me how to protect myself when it comes to that. Sitting in those open windows, not extending the play too far or extending the play too short, and just being just right with the timing of the quarterback. He's really helped me with that as well.
Got you. That's big time, man. So we're gonna. I got something special planned for you, man. So I had the chance to talk to your mom. I want to say Monday or Sunday about this interview, and I think she has a message that I really want you to hear and to see. So give me one quick second as I pull that up. Hey, James, it's mommy. I watched you grow from a little boy with dreams into a young man of faith, discipline, and heart. People see the Division One offers and the success on the field, but I see the sacrifices, the early mornings, and the choices you made when no one was watching. You stayed humble, you stayed focused, and you kept God first. And that tells me everything I need to know about who you are. Football may take you far, but your character will take you further. No matter where this journey leads, know this: you are deeply loved, endlessly supported, and I am unbelievably proud to be your mother. I love you, bub.
Man, that's cool.
It is, man. Uh, kind of tell me tell me more about your relationship with your mom, because she seems like she's your biggest fan, and she's like, it just seems like you guys are made for each other when it comes to the guidance and just being a good kid.
Yeah, definitely. She's really been a really big role model for my life. Growing up, being the only boy out of all girls, she always made sure I was protected and well rounded. She always made sure I protect my sisters, protect my family. So it's been times where, like we may not agree on certain things, but it's just because we have different outlooks. Because I'm a male, she's a woman, different things. But she's really guided me down the right direction each and every day. And I promise you, it's been nothing but love for my mom. And like I really applaud her on how she's raised me. To be the young man I am. Being by herself. Growing up is just like I'm really like amazed and really inspired by my mom each and every day. And, I just want the best for her, and that's another reason why I push and I do the things I do each and every day is for my mom and for my family. Because she's giving me everything. She'll take the clothes off her back and put them on me if that's what she needs to do. And she loves all of us. to her fullest abilities. No matter what, she's always at every game. No matter how far I am away, she always will make sure she makes it, and I know where she is each and every time. No matter how big the crowd is, I always know where my mom is. She got her bedazzled hat on, she got her jersey on, everything. So I always know where she is.
That's what's up, man. And you mentioned having a bunch of sisters who are probably a little bit older than you.
Yeah,
But you also got a cousin out here in JJ Bethea who is pretty darn athletic herself.
yeah.
Man, tell me what it was like playing in the backyard with that type of competition, man.
Man, it was crazy, man. It's always competitive, running down the road with her, seeing who's the fastest out of the family, just different things like that, playing in the backyard, playing basketball with the family, different things like that. It's just always been competitive growing up, but it's always love growing up. We've done nothing but make each other better. It's love at the end of the day with all of us. So
For sure. Now, James, we're coming to a close here, but one thing I always want to ask people before we leave each other in this scenario is what is a driving force for you? Is there like a specific word that you live by, or is there like something that's happened in your life that was like, from here on out, this is the thing that's going to push me forward?
Well, it really, to be honest with you, it's really just been my relationship with God. It's really no saying or no belief, like nothing that I live by. It's just God. He's really been my upbringing, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, coming into high school, my relationship with him wasn't really as strong as it is now, and I found myself struggling in different pieces, with football and mentally, with different things, coming like it's been times where like I'll be sitting in my room crying, just wondering how am I going to get through all of it, and just leaning on my own understanding and leaning like, oh man, I got to do this. I got to go work out more. I got to go do this. But in reality, the thing was God. And that's really been my go-to through everything. Just through sports, through school, when I'm not feeling good, when I'm down, like it's really like I don't think the way I used to think anymore. It's just different things. I don't hang around the same people I used to hang around. Like coming into high school is just, life has been a lot better for me the more I found God.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
Yeah,
Some people don't find that till later. So the fact that you found it now and it's been your guiding factor, that's a pretty big deal, bro. Look, man, it has been a pleasure watching you grow as an athlete over the years, man. I know I didn't even know you were a wide receiver your freshman year because I always saw you on the defensive end. So to
yeah,
see that you're kind of like your breakout sophomore year, and then oh no, that's probably the biggest, like that's probably the best player in the county, period. This year,
yeah.
like very impressive, man. But we still got another year of growth with you, so I will definitely be hearing from you again, man. Congratulations, and have a great day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
No problem, man.